Shalom. This is David representing the Brit-Am movement of the 10 Tribes of Israel. Today we are about to discuss the Khazars. The Khazars were a people who ruled over southern Russia and the Ukraine and neighboring areas in the period from around 500 CE to about 960 CE. After that they were attacked by the Russians, the early Russian kingdom, and they were defeated. But they, however, remained to some degree as a powerful entity in the area for another few hundred years until the 1200 CE and the Mongolian invasions, when they disappeared. The Khazars had converted to Judaism. They had become Jewish. They became Jewish in about 600 CE or a little later, according to Abraham Polak, who wrote an important book, Khazars in Hebrew, about the Khazars. Abraham Polak also said that at first the Khazars adopted some type of Judaism without becoming formally Jewish. They something similar to the B'nai Noach movement, together with additional biblical precepts. After that they became fully fledged Jews. Also at the beginning only the king and his immediate entourage became Jewish. Later all of the Khazars did, as well as sections of the peoples who were allied with them, who served together with them or underneath them, such as the Alans and related peoples. Jewish people, we are commanded in the Bible, and see Numbers 15:15 and also Exodus 22, where we are commanded to respect the convert as an equal to us and to give him equal opportunity with us. Also in Exodus, in Ezekiel 47:22 it says that the stranger who is not of the children of Israel, who is to be found amongst you, who is born amongst you, shall be the same as you, and he shall receive an inheritance in the land alongside you, according to the tribe he dwells amongst. The convert receives an equal treatment. The Khazars converted to Judaism. They converted to Judaism from about 600 or later. At the beginning they were not full-fledged Jews, but they had a different status, a status of their own, similar to that of B'nai Noach, where in effect they were Gentiles who had adopted certain biblical precepts. Later they became full-fledged Jews. Also at the beginning only the king and his immediate entourage converted. Later so too did all of the Khazars and some of the allied nations. Book we've written about the Khazars. Details of this work may be found on our website, www.brit-am.org, Brit-am.org, Brit-am.org. This book is called the Khazars Tribe 13. Tribe 13. It is called Tribe 13 because the Khazars were dominated by the tribes of Manasseh and Simeon, with most of the leadership coming from Manasseh. This is even mentioned in the Talmud. Yehuda Levi in the 1100s wrote a book, Khazari, the Khazar, where he builds his work upon a disputation that was said to have taken place between representatives of different faiths before the king of the Khazars, as a result of which the Khazar king converts to Judaism. And this work of Yehuda Levi is a classic of Jewish literature and of rabbinical thought. The Khazars, in effect, were also assisted in their conversion by the fact that many Jews lived amongst them. At that time the Jews were being persecuted by the pagan Persians who worshipped fire, also by the Byzantine Christians who controlled Greece and Turkey and neighbouring nations, and also by the Arabs who had just become Muslim and were conquering the area and were making life intolerable for everyone else, including the Jews. So the Jews from all of these areas went to the land of the Khazars, where they intermarried with the locals, and this facilitated the later conversion of the Khazars to Judaism. The Khazars, in effect, were descendants of the lost tribes of Israel. 10 tribes of Israel came from the northern kingdom of Israel. The northern kingdom of Israel had split apart from the southern kingdom of Judah, and the 12 tribes had divided into two different sections. The northern kingdom was in the north, it had the majority of the Israelite population, 10 of the 12 tribes. These 10 tribes were conquered by the Assyrians, so taken into exile and lost knowledge of their identity. In their places of exile, they became associated with the Sumerians and the Scythians, who are known as the children of Gomer in the Bible. The book of Hosea, chapters 1 and 2, mentions the 10 tribes in their places of exile being associated with Gomer, and such was the case. The Scythians and Cimmerians and the Medes and the Babylonians who were in the Assyrian Empire rebelled against the Assyrians. They overtook the Assyrian Empire, destroyed it, and while the Medes and the Babylonians divided the empire between them, and they later drove out the Scythians and the Israelites. The Scythians and the Israelites from the Middle East moved to beyond the Caucasus. They moved to the north into southern Russia, and from there they moved westward in stages. They entered Scandinavia, and they became Angles and Saxons who invaded England, and so on. A portion of them who remained behind formed the Khazar nation. The Khazars were related to them. The Khazars were also to be found in Sweden, as archaeological evidence indicates, and in Scotland, as both archaeological evidence and Roman reports tell us. The Romans say that the Agathyrsi crossed the seas, apparently from Scandinavia, and settled amongst the Picts. The Agathyrsi are in effect a portion of the Khazar nation. We thus have Khazars belonging to the 10 tribes of Israel, being part of those Israelites who had remained behind, becoming Jewish and joining the Jewish people. In a future episode we shall prove how we know that the Khazars were descended from lost tribes of Israel. They were in fact of Hebraic origin, and we shall explain it in another episode. The Khazars were dominated by the tribes of Manasseh and Simeon, especially by Manasseh. Manasseh was the 13th tribe. There are actually 13 tribes of Israel, because the tribe of Joseph was divided into two, Ephraim and Manasseh. The Khazars had characteristics of Manasseh. They were easygoing, they were concerned for the prosperity of all of their subjects, and they were good to all of the people under their domain. And many foreigners came to their country to live amongst them because they had heard good things about the Khazar Empire, and the Khazars justified the good report about them. So the Khazars are called Tribe 13, after their leading element from the tribe of Manasseh, who in many ways is considered the 13th tribe. So too in the USA. In US heritage and US tradition, the number 13 is important. Look at a dollar bill. Just look at a dollar bill. Here we have one here. $1 bill. $1 bill, look at it. I don't think you can see it very well, but take one out of your pocket or look at it. You may notice that the number 13 is very important. On the dollar bill, we have 13 stars above the eagle. The eagle tail has 13 feathers. The eagle is holding 13 arrows, representing the 13th founding colonies of the USA. After the USA broke away from Britain and set itself up as an independent country, there were originally 13 colonies. That is why on the American flag we still have 13 stars. And also the eagle on the dollar bill, the eagle is holding a branch with 13 leaves and 13 berries on it. And not only that, but on the right-hand side of the dollar bill, looking at it this way, we see the pyramid, which is from the Great Seal, the official symbol of the USA. According to the Midrash, according to tradition, the symbol of Joseph, the symbol of Manasseh, was a picture of Egypt. When you look at a pyramid, you are at once reminded of Egypt. The USA is dominated by Manasseh. The early settlers of the USA came from areas in Britain where we have shown that Manasseh was predominant, and also they came from areas in Europe where this true held, where Manasseh had settled in ancient times and later divided himself apart from his neighbours and moved together with everyone else from his tribe to the USA. And there are similarities and parallelisms between the Khazars and the USA. Both belong to Manasseh, or both were dominated by Manasseh, and both deserve to be termed Tribe 13.